Hello students, in today's session we will discuss what is SIT connection. SIT connection is a type of connection which we have seen previously under simply supported or simple connections, not simply supported, simple connections. Basically, the beam to beam connection or beam to column connections are classified as into two major class. One is the simple connection, second one is the moment resisting connection. So I will say it as a rigid connection, right? So out of these two connections, we were solving problems for the simple connections from last few videos, from last few sessions. We are trying to solve simple connections, right? We have seen how to design beam to beam connection, right? Now I am designing today SIT connection. SIT connection is what type of a connection? Where we connect beam to the column with the help of SIT angle. With the help of SIT angle. How we do that? Yes, you can see over here. I have a diagram of it with me. Okay. So see, this is your column member and this is your beam. Okay, this is your beam. This column, this beam is connected to the column with the help of SIT angle. This is what your SIT angle and this is clit angle. So your beam is seated over your SIT angle, or you can say it is rested over your SIT angle. And that's why we said it SIT connection design. Now SIT connections also has two different types. One is the Stephen SIT connection and second one is the unStephen SIT connection. So in the today's session I am going to discuss unStephen SIT connection. UnStephen SIT connection. What is Stephen SIT connection? If I am providing plate over here and that plate is resisting and helping our SIT angle to transfer the load, then that type of connection is called as a Stephen SIT connection. But today I am discussing only SIT connection where the only single angle is provided to transfer the load at that joint. Okay, let's go for problem statement. Yes. Here the problem statement says design a SIT connection for a factored beam of an end reaction 110 kilonewton. How much end reaction is 110 kilonewton. The beam section is ISMB 250. Is ISMB 250. At weight 37.3 kg per meter. And it is connected to flange of a column of section. This column section is ISHB heavy beam 200 at 37.3 kg per meter using bolted connection. So we are using bolted connections here. Now if we go for the steps, the very first step is enlisting all the properties of given two sections. First section is ISMB 250, second one is ISHB 200. Now why we are enlisting properties, you will understand it ahead, but see here what properties I have enlisted over here. Now here they mentioned in the question that we are using bolted connection. For bolted connection or even for any material, we have to know what is yielding stress carried by that or is of that material, right? So here yielding stress of a Fe 410 grade of a steel is Fu 410 MPa. Okay. Next is FYW, F suffix YW. It is the yielding stress of a 250 MPa. Now the bolt of a grade 4.6 we are using, and bolt yielding stress of particularly if we talk about the bolts, what is the yielding stress of that bolt? That is 200 MPa. That is 200 MPa. Now partial safety factors, partial safety factor for material and partial safety factor for bolt. So see here, partial safety factor for bolt gamma MB is 1.25, whereas partial safety factor for material gamma M naught is 1.10. Now I am enlisting the specific properties of these two I sections. See here. The properties of ISMB 250 and ISHV 200. You have to follow the similar way. You have to go with the similar way how I did over here. You have to first enlist the specific general properties of the material, then specific properties of your section. So section I have here, two sections are supposed to connect with each other, and the properties of these two sections are enlisted over here. What are those properties? Width of a flange, then thickness of a flange, thickness of web, gauge, and radius of the root R1. Radius of the root R1. I am enlisting it for both of the sections, like in this table format. Once you enlist the properties of the material, you can further go for the next is the length of the seat angle B. Now, whenever I am connecting one beam to the column or stanchion, I need to understand the connection with the bolts, how we are doing it. Because see, if I am providing bolt and I am using angle for that connection, how that connection is actually fitted with, or if I say specifically how that angle is fitted on the web or on the flange, or how, that we have to decide first. So first we will see how the angle is provided, because in the previous session, if you have seen, if you have observed, we have provided angle on the web of both of our beams. One beam is connected to the another beam, and the angle between it is rested upon, one leg is on one web of our beam, second leg is on the another web of our beam. Now in this problem which we are discussing right now, here we are not providing angle on any web of our beam or on the web of our column. No. What changes here, what difference is here is that our connection is made with the seat angle, see here, with this seat angle, and the seat angle is connected to the flange of your column and flange of your beam. This is your beam actually, and you have connected the seat angle to the flange of your column and flange of your beam. I have shown the pictures of it in the previous video where we discussed the types of connections, and I requested you in that video to watch the different videos regarding this connections. If you come across any three-dimensional picture of it, that will give you better idea to understand this connections. Right, now I hope you understood. In the beam to beam connection, we have connected angle between web to the web, one leg on one web, other leg on other web of our beam. Here we are providing angle connection, but the angle is connected to the flange. Arrangement has been changed over here. See here, when this arrangement of the angle is changed, we have to certainly change design steps, and we have to take care of different aspects over here. What are those different aspects? See here, this is your stanchion or column, then you have a beam over here, this is your beam, and you have angle, seat angle in it. Now I want to make you understand three different concepts with this same figure. Please pay attention, this is very important over here. Three different concepts or three different distances which I need to calculate for designing. Okay, so first distance is length sorry for interruption. Now, three different values we are gonna calculate. What are these three different values or distances? First is the bearing length of a web of your angle, then bearing length of sit angle, and then distance of root angle from bearing. What I said? See here, length of a web bearing, length of a bearing capacity of sit angle, and length or a distance of root angle from bearing. Okay, let's understand it stepwise with the help of figure. Come to this figure now. In this figure you can see this distance. This is the length of web bearing. What is length of web bearing? Now you have connected one beam, which is actually a I section, and I sections comes with flange and web. That web of that I section which you are using as a beam has its own capacity to bear the load. That calculation of that length of which we are utilizing bearing capacity is what we call length of web bearing. What I said? The web of your I section has its own capacity to bear the load. How much length of web of your I section we are using, that calculation is called length of web bearing. Okay, how we do that? The formula is mentioned over here, even it is mentioned in your IS code. R into gamma m naught divided by divided by thickness of web into Fyw, yielding stress of a material, right? Now, once you calculate length of web bearing, which is this length is your beam, and this beam carries UDL upon it. What kind of a UDL it is now? So see, this is your sit angle, right? This is your sit angle, and on the sit angle you have a UDL. What kind of a UDL it is? It is the force transferred from the beam, from this beam region to the angle, correct? And that transfer of a load is taken, dispersion of that load is taken into degree of 45, See here, the transfer of load is taken into the degree of 45, and this load is transfer from whom? From the beam to the sit angle in the degree of 45. Now let's understand second distance, which is bearing length of sit angle. First we calculated bearing length of web. This is the beam, and what is the bearing length of this web of your beam is what? Calculated with this formula. Now I am calculating bearing length of my sit angle. How to calculate that? So bearing length of a sit angle is calculated B minus thickness of flange plus R. How we did that? See here into the figure. This is your total beam, whereas bearing length of your sit angle ends over here from this to this. This is your B1, which is bearing length of a sit angle. How we can calculate that? From the total B, we can subtract thickness of flange plus R1. We can subtract that, and we will come to know B1 value. That is what? Bearing length of sit angle. Right. Next is your distance of root angle from bearing. Distance of root angle from bearing means what? See here. This B2 distance. This B2 distance. This is the bearing, and from that, what is the distance of B2? From distance of a root angle from bearing is what calculated as B2. And B2, how we will calculate? For that you have a formula B1 plus C. Now what is C over here? Come to the figure again. In this figure you can see over here C value is the clearance you have provided between beam and flange of your I section or flange of your column section. That clearance provided between column and beam is called as a C, and I am taking that into the calculation. B1 plus clearance minus TA plus RA. What is TA and RA? TA is a thickness of angle and RA is a root radius of angle that we have enlisted in the properties of our beam. Okay. Now the actual steps, actual procedure of calculating each and everything which I have explained previously is started over here. See, first is the bearing length of web of your seat angle, web of seat. Okay, so how to calculate bearing length of web? We know B is equals to R divided by thickness of web into gamma m naught divided by FYW. Okay, this calculation just you need to put the values of everything. Gamma m naught we know 1.10, 250 FYW, thickness of web is 6.9, which is we have enlisted in the properties of beam. Thickness of ISMB 250 is 6.9, thickness of a web 6.9, and R value is 110. From there we come to know length of web of your beam. The bearing length of web of your beam is 70.14 mm. Now let's provide an angle section with a leg length of 75 mm. I means what it means here, this is your beam, this is your column, this is clearance you have provided, and you are providing angle section over here, right? And this angle section is connected with the bolts. But what is the length of this angle section? What is the length of leg of your angle section? How are we going to decide that? So we are deciding it on the basis of web bearing length. Okay, web bearing length is come how much? Around 70.14. Now I'm taking the assumption I'm providing little more than the required. How much is required? 70.14 mm. Now provide an angle section with the leg length of 75 mm. I'm providing angle length as a 75 mm. Then provide a clearance of 3 mm between beam and the column flange. As I said, we have to provide some clearance between the flange of your column and beam which you are connecting to it. That clearance has value range between 3 to 5 mm. I am providing here it is 3 mm. Now what is the required length of outstanding leg? The required length of outstanding leg is 70.14 plus 3, which is lesser than 75 mm, and that's why what is we provided or we assumed is okay. We assume that we are providing 75 mm, and the 75 mm is okay if it is less than if it is greater than our requirement. Our requirement is around 73. We are providing 75. That's why it is okay. Now next is length of bearing on seat. B1 and B2 is yet to remaining, and we have to solve that for further reference. See here, length of bearing on seat. B1 formula we know. I have already explained how we derived that. And that value, put the value of B, which we already calculated, 70.14. Then thickness of flange 12.5, thickness root radius R 113, that is of IS MB properties. These properties are already mentioned over here. See, 13 root radius, then everything is mentioned and enlisted earlier. Just use that and try to solve for these formulas. We come to know the value of B1 is 44.64 mm. Now the reaction of 110 kilonewton, this reaction 110 kilonewton they have mentioned in our problem, right? And from there we understood at that joint the shear has to be transferred is of value 110 kilonewton, right? Now we are assuming it is distributed uniformly over the bearing length of 44.64 mm. What it means? See here, this is your column, this is your beam, you have provided clearance and you are providing angle over here. Now on this angle, the load coming, which is shear load 110 kilonewton, we are not taking it just a point load at it, but we are dispersing it as a UDL, we are transforming it on our angle like this, right? And that dispersion of a load is at 45 degree as I already mentioned you, right? And let us try seat angle. Now we understood that one length of my angle section is need to be around 75 mm. Other I have taken more than that and I assumed, this is purely an assumption with the small basis of bearing length. I assumed my section 150 by 75 by 12 mm. Now radius at the root of the seat angle RA is 10 mm. This values which I am saying, root radius and thickness of lens, thickness of web, everything is enlisted previously. And where from I have taken that? From the steel table. Open your steel table and note down all the values required for calculation earlier, okay? So that you every time you have not to rush to open the steel table, no need of it. Enlist it earlier and then go solve your problem, right? Then the distance of end bearing, B2 calculation I am doing now, and that's why I mention RA value over here, so that I will put down that into the formulas. Put the all values. B1 we know, clearance C we know, we have assumed 3 mm. Then thickness of angle 12 mm, which because I used angle 150 by 75 by 8 mm thickness, not 8 mm, 12 mm thickness, okay? Just make 12 mm thickness, okay? See it. I am assuming angle of 150 by 75 by 12 mm. Therefore, angle thickness is 12 mm. Now, B2 is 25.64 mm. Just put the values into the formulas, how that formulas are derived, how that works on our figure, and regarding our section or connection I have shown earlier. Go visit, if you don't understand, visit the figure and you will get an idea about it. Practice, you need to do some practice, little more problems you have to solve on this concept, and then you will understand it. Then next is moment at the critical section. Now what is this moment? See here, it is very simple, that if you are designing any connection, this is your column, this is your beam, you are providing angle over here, but whatever load you are assuming it is in the form of UDL, right? And this is where the critical section occurs. This load carried by this angle section may fail somewhere at a distance or at the section XX, and that failure is due to the moment taken place at that point. We have to calculate what is the maximum moment carrying capacity of that section. If we come to know what is the maximum moment carrying capacity, we will calculate or we will design our section for the higher capacity than the required, and then our section will be safe. So first we will calculate at the critical section what will be the maximum moment and then we will design our moment accordingly. We will design higher moment for our connection. So let's see that. See here, I said you have angle like this, right, and you have UDL up. Wait a minute, let me draw nicely. Simply I am saying this is your angle on which you have fitted your beam, and this is your column on this side, right? And this angle is carrying UDL upon it. Now critical section will be at a distance, let's take at XX. This is UDL, and let's take at section XX you come across a critical section. Now how you will calculate moment at that point? You have to calculate moment like force into perpendicular distance. What will be force? Force will be R divided by B1 into, or simply if I take simply the moment in this case, how you will calculate moment at XX? You will calculate W into X into X by 2 into X by 2, right? Similarly, if we do for our connection, we will do like this: R into B2 by B1 multiply by B2 divided by 2. Now see here R divided by B1 is your W, and B2 is X into B2 by 2 is X by 2, is X by 2. Again I am explaining it. Here R by B1 is your W into B2 into B2 by 2. That is how simply W into X by 2. Now next is your moment capacity of the angle leg. This is if you put values into this formula, you will come to know at critical section moment develops is 809.98 kilonewton meter. Now I have to design my section for higher capacity. MD will be 1.2 into ZE into Fy by gamma m naught. Now what is ZE? ZU you know, elastic section modulus, and value for the rectangular section will be BD square by 6. So this is BD square by 6, right? 1.2 is a numerical value, and gamma Fy divided by gamma m naught. Fy divided by gamma m naught. Put the all values and calculate design moment at that section. Design moment MD will be 818.18. It is 818.18 with having greater value than the M 808.98. Okay, and that's why I can say my design section which I chose or I designed with 150 ISA 150 into 75 by 8 is okay. We can use it. How we can use it? Because my MD value is greater than the critical moment coming across that section. Once we're done with that, I said hence provide seat angle of 150 by 75 by 12 mm. My designing is yet not over because I have only choose the angle to be used as a seat connection. But I have to know, I have to understand what number of bolts required at that connection. How many number of bolts I have to provide at that connection so that it will withstand. That is what my connection design is. So how to calculate number of bolts? Very easy. You have to calculate shearing capacity of a bolt, bearing capacity of a bolt, and both you have to cross verify, find the bolt value and then check the number of bolts. I have calculated shearing bolt value first of all in the single shear because my connection is in single shear. What is single shear? The only two surfaces connected with the one bolt, and only the one plane is coming across a shear or experiencing shear force. Whereas in double shear you have three surfaces connected with the single bolt and two surfaces are experiencing shear force. Okay. Now for the single shear, the formula is given on page number 75 of IS 800. Go open that page and try to calculate single shear value. Once you, before that, one thing, this is something different. This is not shear value of a bolt, but here what we are doing is calculating shear capacity for the outstanding leg. We will calculate shear value, that is bolt connection part, but for the leg of this angle which I am connecting as a seat, that have to cross verify with the shear capacity. I have verified it, I have designed it with the moment value, right? But what about shear? I have to also check for the shear value. That I am checking first, and then we will move towards the shear calculation. How to do that? For that, formula is mentioned in IS code. VDP is equals to beta into B into TA into Fy under root of 3 into gamma m naught. The B value is mentioned here. 125 into thickness of angle is 12, 250 under root of 3 gamma m naught. This is how we cross checked for the shear capacity. The shear capacity should be greater than 110. What is 110? 110 is the shear coming across that connection, and my value, my resistance is much higher than that. It is 196.82 kilonewton. And that's why my connection is safe in shear capacity as well. Now, calculation of bolts. The bolts will be in a single shear, and calculate the single shear. Now this is I am keeping for you. You know how to calculate single shear, and as I calculated it 45.27. I know for the bearing the value will be greater, and that's why I am taking it as simply the bolt value to calculate number of bolts. Number of bolts required, I come to know, is 4 bolts. This is the 4 bolts required for seat connection to connect to the flange of your column. See here. Now it is important. I will make you understand. Here I have wrote many theoretical points which you can you pause the video and try to understand that, but connection I will make you understand with the figures. See here, you have this column and you have connected your beam here. Now this angle, which is the seat angle which we have designed, is ISA 150 by 75 by 12 mm. Now number of bolts required are 4 number of bolts. I am providing it in the form of 2 rows. 2 bolts in a 1 row, 4 bolts in a 2 row. Where I am connecting that to the flange of column and the angle, leg of your angle. Rest of the connection, I said use nominal clit angle of 100 by 75 by 8 mm because it is just for the making connections. It is not carrying any force, not transforming any force. That's why I said provide nominal angle of ISA 100 by 75 by 8 mm, and it is bolted with 2 bolts of 20 mm dia at bottom, on the bottom leg or outstanding leg, and to the connected leg I have provided again 2 bolts of 20 mm dia. Okay, that's the nominal connection I have did. But what connection I have designed? This particular connection where I am providing, I have calculated 4 number of bolts are required to make that connection transfer and adequate. Okay, So here I am providing 20 number of bolts, and how many bolts I have provided? 4 bolts. How I did that? In the 2 rows 4 bolts are provided, and the last connection, this one, again 2 number of 20 mm dia bolts are provided. So here your connection design is over. How to calculate load coming upon our section, how to calculate moment, check for shear, and then calculating bolts. That's what the steps of your this problem. Go through this problem again, write it down in your notebook, and you will understand only when you will try to solve it on your own. Thank you so much.